Welcome to another video. I am the Starman and I am sat here in the back of the Star bus and I've come on a bit of a trip tonight, yes. Now this could be the first time that we get to use the Move Shoot Move Nomad Star Tracker. You might have seen the video I did on it. I did an unboxing video. It's a very, very small and compact star tracker which is brilliant for taking long exposure photographs of the night sky. Absolutely amazing. You can take it anywhere. You can even put it in your pocket. It belongs to a friend of mine called Frank. Now he's here. We've actually drove up from Blackpool around about half a mile and we've come up here. It's a bit of a sort of nature reserve place, and it's very, very well. I wouldn't say it's the darkest place, but it's on the southern part of Morecambe Bay, and there are quite a few lights around. We're not too far away from Blackpool, so there is a glow on the horizon. But certainly it's a great place to come and do a bit of stargazing and some photography. I've just been taking some pictures now with my camera on a tripod. Check out this footage. I've just been videoing the stars. I've got video of the plough. We can see the plough nice and clear there, although there is quite a lot of light pollution coming from Haitian Power Station. You might be able to see the bright light. Look at the bright lights of Haitian, but my God, the amount of light that comes up from there is unbelievable. And I even got Jupiter. You can see Jupiter there. And also just to the right of Jupiter is Aldebaran, which is in Taurus. And that's what they call the Eye of the Bull. And you can see that. We can also see the Great Square of Pegasus. Yeah, there's lots to see here. It's beautifully clear. We've been waiting for a night like this for quite a while. Yeah. And also the Andromeda Galaxy as well. Check out this picture that I just took of the Andromeda Galaxy, just using my 50mm lens on a tripod, 10 seconds, f1.8, ISO 1600. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely amazing? I've even got a photograph of a galaxy far, far away. But I want to do a bit more than that because I want to try and take longer exposures and try and get the same thing with a longer exposure. That's the idea, you see. Without a tracking device, and if you're using your camera on a tripod, you are limited to the time that you can take pictures. Now, with the 50mm lens for the Andromeda Galaxy, I used a 10-second exposure. Now, that's as long as you can use before you get star trailing. In fact, even with 10 seconds, we're probably going to get a little bit of star trailing in there. But if I was to put that on the tracker, I could do that for 2 minutes. Can you imagine that? 2 minutes. I could lower the ISO. I could even stop the lens down a little bit, you know, and make... By stopping the lens down, say to f2.8 from f1.8, I could make the stars a little bit sharper and take away some of that chromatic aberration around the stars. Right, okay, I am now sat on a picnic table in the freezing cold. It is absolutely freezing up here in Pilling. It is pretty dark and we've seen loads and loads of stars, but unfortunately the clouds are just starting to come in from the... I can looking towards the northwest, the clouds are just starting to come in, so I think we better be quick in setting this thing up. So I'm going to show you what I've got. I've got the Move Shoot Move. This is the tracker here. Now I've already got the V mount on it, the Alan Wallace V mount. Can you see? I've already attached that to the tracker. So this is the tracker here, this little device here. We've got the V mount there, and we've also got a ball head on the top for the camera. So, and the camera I'm using, or Frank's taking these pictures. He's using a Panasonic, I think it's a G9, is it, Frank? A Panasonic G9. It's a micro 4/3 mirrorless camera, and it's got a 100mm lens on, and that's the equivalent of a 200mm on a 35mm digital camera. This device here is the polar scope. Now this goes on, in fact I'll show you that when I set it up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this onto the tripod, and then I'll put the camera on there, the polar scope. I'll show you how. This is just one way of setting it up, by the way. There are much easier ways of setting it up, and you can also get a bit more technical. I believe you can put a weight on it as well, a weight system if you're using heavy equipment. But we're going to set it up now, and I'll show you, and hopefully we can get some pictures before the clouds come in. So here's the tripod. So we've got a normal tripod here. It's a Manfrotto tripod. I'm not sure of the model number, but we've already got Frank's already got a wedge for the tripod. Now this wedge is by Move Shoot Move. It's an extra by Move Shoot Move, and I think that the wedge is a very good option to use if you want to make your polar alignment easier. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the tracker on. Let's hope I get this right. So this is a Swiss Arca mount on top of the wedge there, and the tracker goes in like that. Now it's already roughly polar aligned as well. It's already roughly polar, pointing towards the North Star. We've had a look at that before, but before we take any pictures, we'll need to make sure that it's polar aligned exactly before we start to take any pictures. Because we're using a 100mm lens, it's going to have to be pretty well polar aligned if we're going to get some good pictures using a 100mm lens on a micro four thirds camera. So that's on there now. So the next thing to do is I'll put the polar scope on. So let's see if I get this right. It's got a nylon screw, so that goes through there like that. And this is your illuminator here, which glows. What you do is you light it up with a torch and it glows, and it helps you to see the reticle inside so that you know where to put the pole star, where to put the North Star. It needs to go in a particular point on the circle if you want to get accurate polar aligning. Now I know the earlier Move Shoot Moves, they used to come with a laser pointer, and that was only if you were using a wide camera lens, if you wanted a wide sweep of the Milky Way and that sort of thing. It was great, but the laser pointers have kind of fallen out of favour now. I'm not even sure if they're allowed anymore. You might be able to use them in America, but now we're just using the polar scope. So the polar scope's on. I think the best thing to do now would be to get this set up so that it's polar aligned with the pole star before we put the camera on. So I'll do that now. Right, okay, so we've got the polar scope here. Now I've charged the polar scope up because, like I say, it's one of those that glows on the inside so that you can see the reticle inside. And it's actually glowing now. This is one of the hardest things about setting up a tracker, polar alignment. It can be quite painful. So I have to get down now. Now it is roughly polar aligned. We've got it sort of pointing towards the North Star. But now what I need to do is I need to use these little knobs here on the wedge to get the North Star into a particular point on the circle. The reason for that is because the North Star does actually make a bit of a circle because it's not directly over the pole. It's about a degree off the pole. So it's a bit like a clock. At the moment, I've checked this program which tells me where the North Star should be inside the reticle. And according to this program, it says it should be at 7:30. So I need to fiddle around with these knobs here and move it up and down as well. I can move it up and down, and I can see the North Star. Oh, there it is. And I've got a circle in here, and I need to make sure that the North Star goes as close to around about 7:30 as I can get. That's on the bottom left of the circle there, roughly. Oh, this is difficult. Oh. Well, I think I've got it. I've got it. Yeah. Oh. I'll tell you what, that is not easy, but I've managed to get the North Star aligned. Now, I said before, we've got clouds coming over from the northwest. So what I want to do is we've got a nice view towards the east at the moment. We can see the Pleiades over there. Okay, so now I've got polar aligned. I'm going to put the camera on. So I'll put the camera on here. Now I just want to explain this camera. Frank's actually got a heater band for his lens. So there's the camera there. A Panasonic G9, 35 to 100mm lens, and it's set to 100mm. And this is the charger for the heater band. So that needs to hang on to the. I don't know where that hangs on. It hangs on somewhere.
Right in front of you.
There. Will it go there? So that'll go there. Now, the camera, same as the tracker, it's got a Swiss Arca plate, and that'll go. I might need to move that because it's just close to the polar scope, so we'll just move that out of the way a little bit. Sometimes things can clash, you know, you have to be careful sometimes. I'm just tightening up the screw for the Swiss Arca plate. So now we can now point the camera wherever we want. We can point it over there to the north, or we can point it over here to the east. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to point it towards the east because, like I said, we've got the Pleiades just up here. Pleiades are looking amazing at the moment. So we'll take a test shot, shall we, of the Pleiades. What I'll do is let's put the camera on. I'm just lining the Pleiades up now. Make sure it's focused as well. I'm going to use a 30-second exposure, and I'm going to take a test shot now. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to put the picture on the screen for you now. This is the Pleiades. Check it out. What's gone wrong here? There's trailing. That's no good, is it? Hey, come on. It was my first attempt. It was my first shot. You know what I did wrong? I didn't turn the tracker on, did I? I forgot to turn the tracker on. After all that, setting all this up, I forgot to turn it on. There's a switch here on the side of the tracker. It's got N and S. That means north and south. If you're in the northern hemisphere, where we are, you point it towards the north. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you put the switch the other way, and it tracks a different way, you see. So I want to move that switch towards the north, and it lights up. We've got a flashy light there, we've got a red light. The tracker is now tracking. So hopefully, this time we'll get a decent picture. So here we go, let's try again. 30 seconds on the Pleiades, 100mm, f2.8, the ISO is 400. Let's see what we get. Right, okay, I am now going to put the picture on the screen, and hopefully this one will be a bit better. So there you go, check it out, look at this picture. Oh, well, I got it on the second attempt, I think. Look at that, folks. Oh, I think we've got it. I think we've got it, folks. Look at that picture of the Pleiades. There's a very, very slight haze around it. Now, I'm not sure if that's because we've got a little bit of thin cloud passing over at the moment, or whether that's the dust cloud that's lit up. There's an actual dust cloud which lights up the Pleiades, and I believe that could be what that is. So maybe with a bit of tinkering, that picture there, that could be what, because if you see a long exposure of the Pleiades, you tend to see a lot of the dust clouds all lit up, illuminated by all of those stars. It's amazing. It really is an amazing group of stars to photograph. But we just about got it. Now the cloud is actually now starting to, unfortunately, the cloud is actually now starting to take over the sky, and it's actually, can you believe it? It's just covered up now. It's just covered up the Pleiades. We managed to get this shot. First time trying out the Move Shoot Move Nomad star tracker. It does look a little bit complicated, I have to say. You can use a much easier, a much simpler setup than this. As you can see from that shot there that we got, the tracker is working very, very well. I believe we could go up to a couple of minutes on that with a bit more practice, possibly. But I think I'm going to leave it there now. I think we've done pretty well. Like I say, the clouds have come in, and it looks like the clouds of sport play again. Always seems to happen, doesn't it? But there you go. I'm quite pleased with the picture of the Pleiades. If I manage to come out again, I'll do some more again with the tracker, and we'll try some different objects as well. There's plenty of objects out there to get, like the Andromeda Galaxy, which I took a photograph of with my other camera on a static tripod with no tracker at 10 seconds. What an amazing photograph. That's the sort of thing you can take. If you know where to point your camera and you get the right conditions, that's what you can do. But I'm going to leave it there now. That was the first outing with the Move Shoot Move Nomad Star Tracker. Could have done a bit more if it didn't cloud up. It was nice and clear when we got it. It was beautiful. In fact, I can see them. Oh, can you see the moon over there? The moon's coming up. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, the moon. Oh, look at that. Can you see that? Wow, the moon is just starting to rise. That is amazing.
I can film it.
Whoa, we've got to get that on film. But anyway, that's it. I'll leave you now. In fact, I'll leave you with a bit of video of the moon rising. Don't forget to keep looking up.